If you're a guy who feels like he's fallen off track and you are tired of starting over and over and over again every single month, then you're gonna wanna watch this, because this is a video I wish I had years ago. Listen, I know what it feels like. I used to be a super skinny kid and I felt powerless back in the day, especially after there was a particular girl who was pretty unfaithful, who I thought I trusted. Let's just not get into it. To get to the point, I just didn't feel strong physically or mentally. But in all honesty, that moment changed everything for me. Since getting my personal training qualifications, since moving into the online space, I have spent years building a system that not only transformed my own body and mindset, but has now helped hundreds of men burn fat, build confidence, and finally feel themselves again. And the best part, it was without burning out. It was without having to sacrifice everything. And before I tell you everything you need to know about this system, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Now, sadly, in 2025, a lot of fitness programs fail, either because they try and build a one-size-fits-all plan, they are overly strict or restrictive when it comes to training and nutrition, or they don't support you enough when it comes to consistency. And I can guarantee that if you've got a busy job, a family, a busy lifestyle, you've probably started a plan and you've been doing really well for a week or two, but then work gets really busy and then everything just drops off a cliff. Your life gets really busy, your motivation dips, and you just end up falling off track again. Would you believe me if I said that wasn't your fault? Because you don't need motivation, you need a structured plan that actually slots in like a puzzle piece into your life. And that is why I created the Fitness Academy. The Fitness Academy is a 6-month bespoke coaching program that was built for one goal: helping men who have fallen off track completely rebuild their bodies, their confidence, and their habits. And again, without sacrificing their lives. It's a full one-to-one coaching experience that includes custom training plans, real-world nutritional guidance, which are flexible and non-restrictive, daily support and weekly calls, and non-negotiable monthly reviews that all clients must attend. It's a 6-month transformation system that takes you step by step through the different stages. But most importantly, you actually work with me one-to-one. Yeah. So to begin with, I want to go through our 3 pillars, and you'll probably see this a lot when it comes to online coaching. We focus on 3 elements: mindset, training, and nutrition. These are the fundamentals that ultimately will get us to the desired outcome. If we can make sure that all of these overlap, we will make sure that we get to the desired outcome. But what makes things slightly different with us is that each person that comes to us most likely struggles with one of these pillars the most. Now, a lot of the time when it comes to guys, it's mindset and nutrition. Training wise, a lot of the time they'll boss it. A lot of the times though, they might struggle with time, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, each individual will struggle with probably one of these the most, or 2 at most. It's very rare that people struggle with all 3, but there'll always be some correlation, some issues that people struggle with here. So we ultimately want to look at each individual, and from there, that's essentially where we move into the actual program. Now, from that, we then move into the Fitness Academy program. And again, this is a 6-month program. So when we look at month number 1, we are identifying the problem. A lot of the times when people move into online coaching, they are thrown a training plan, they are thrown a diet plan, and they are told that they need to check in once a week, blah, 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 and ultimately it's sort of left to their own devices. But we are trying to take a slightly different approach. Our goal when it comes to our training program is about longevity. It's about making sure that guys that have fallen off track don't fall off track again. So the first thing that we actually want to do in the first month is identify the problem. Now, yes, you will be given your training program, you'll be given any of the nutritional guidance, you'll have all of the systems in place, but our main goal for that first month is to identify the problem or problems that each individual is having. Because if we don't know the problems, we can't fix those problems, which means that we can never move on to any of the other phases because we are continuously trying to find what's actually going wrong. So we want to identify what that issue is straight off the bat, because they may think that it's nutrition is the problem when in fact it's probably their mindset, which takes us back to the pillars that we were talking about. So the first month, we are going through the motion, we are going through the process, but we are identifying what the real issues are, which then takes us into month number 2. So once they have essentially passed month number 1, we move into month number 2, which is fixing the real issues. So we want to take what we have learned in month 1 and we want to implement our strategies and our techniques to helping you fix the issues that you've been having. So if we know that time is a problem, we want to spend more time on creating workouts and plans that ultimately fit around your schedule. If we know that motivation is a problem, then we know we need to work on your mindset, because motivation comes and goes. So we really need to focus on discipline. So giving you tasks and different exercises that you can do to really bring to life your discipline. Month number 3 then, once you've completed month number 2, you move into month number 3, which is creating consistency. The idea of longevity is about being able to be consistent with something. So this entire month is dedicated around building consistent behaviors. Behaviors is probably a better way of putting things, as saying habits tends to only happen after sort of 6-7 months. So we really want to work on creating behaviors that will help you to work on your consistency. So again, working on nutrition. So again, if we know that nutrition is a problem that you are having, or being consistent with your nutrition, we've already figured out what the problems have been with nutrition. Why do you struggle so much with it? We have then fixed that. Now we need to work on, right, can you be consistent with what we've worked on? Over the last 3 months, can you work on being consistent with the fixes that we made to the issues that you had? Hopefully that makes sense. In month number 4, which is leveling up the results. At the end of the day, you haven't just come here to work on those particular issues. You've come to us for a desired outcome, which may be to lose 10 pounds. It might be to lose 20 pounds. It might be to get ready for a photo shoot. It might be just wanting to feel better overall so that you can look after your kids or keep up with your kids, that kind of thing. So we really want to focus on leveling up your results. So it's been 3 months now. It's been 12 weeks since we started this program. We want to make sure that you are at the peak when it comes to actually getting the results. You should have already been seeing changes and results throughout the process, but this is where we solidify things. This is where we really make a difference and you really see the change. And again, this is from optimizing one-to-one strategies with myself on a monthly basis and a weekly basis. Again, evolving the training plan so that they keep progressing with you, making sure that you are staying consistent with your nutrition, making sure that you're not relapsing into any of the issues and problems that you're having. So again, this is where leveling up the results really comes into play. And by month 4, you'll barely be able to recognize yourself from a physical point of view and from a mental point of view. After month 4, you move into month number 5, which is optimizing results. So you've gotten the desired outcome. You are starting to see change. You are feeling better than you ever have done beforehand. But how do we improve that? How do we take it to that next level? How do we optimize actual change? And this is where we start working on more mindset shifts. How do we work on, right, how do I continuously improve on my workouts? How do I accept who I am now? How do I continue that belief in myself so that I don't fall back into bad habits? Remember, this whole 6-month process is all about longevity. So that's where optimized results comes into play. Then we move into the 6th and final month of this particular program, which is maintaining results. And that kind of goes without saying. What is the point of going through all of these stages, all of this process, if you can't then maintain the results that you have gained? Whether it's getting a 6-pack and abs and losing 20 pounds, or just simply being able to run up the stairs without feeling breathless, or doing a high rocks for the first time. You know, all about, right, how do I maintain this momentum? How do I maintain this shift in focus? How do I maintain actually enjoying what I'm doing and not being my own worst enemy? That is what the 6th month is all about. It's about maintaining results. Once you have gotten through all 6 of those months, you then have a choice. You can either graduate from the program, and this can entail in either simple graduation, where again, you finish up with us, we give you a final farewell and you go on your way, or we celebrate by doing something like a team photo shoot, which is something that I always try and push clients for, because I think it's an amazing opportunity, especially if you've drastically changed the way that you look. So we really do try and push the photo shoots. You don't have to do them, but I definitely think that it's an awesome thing to do. So you can either graduate from the program or you can evolve from the program, which essentially means that you have completed this task, you've completed this goal, but you want to move on to the next thing. You want to move on to the next goal. So maybe it's now you've lost a load of weight. Now you want to build a load of muscle. Now you want to get bigger. So ultimately from this, once you have figured out what you want to do, whether it's graduate or evolve, if you are wanting to evolve the program, we cycle all the way back to the beginning, because ultimately this new goal is going to show different problems, different issues. So again, we repeat the cycle from there. Listen, this isn't an app. You're not just getting thrown into a group with hundreds of other people. You are not getting a copy and paste program. You're getting real one-to-one support with me, with fully personalized guidance, daily accountability when it's needed, and structure and direction, but with flexibility built into it. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. And one thing that I need to be super clear on is that I don't just want you to get lean. This is not a program if you just want a quick fix. I want you to stay lean and feel comfortable with every part of your life. That's why this is a 6-month program, not just like a 90-day program. I've honestly been where you are. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and just feel frustrated with what you're looking at. But I also know how incredible and how powerful it feels to just take control again. So if any of this resonated with you and you know you've been putting this off for far too long, then I'd love to invite you to book in a 20-minute strategy call with myself. It's not a pushy salesy pitch. We'll talk about online coaching at the end of the call, but ultimately it's to give you a strategy to move forwards with for at least the first 90 days. There's no fluff. There's no pressure. So if you're interested, you can find the link in the description down below. And just to be totally frank, spots are limited. So even if you're just thinking about this, book in a call and let's chat. So if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much, guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Every week, I'm going to try my absolute best to pump out at least one video to help you with your fitness goals, whether it's to get lean, to build muscle, build confidence, or simply just to get clarity on what the hell you're doing right now. So hopefully that sounds good to you, and I'll catch you on the next one.